This is very similar to the structure where you found the schematics.
Check out the terminals. Maybe there's something that'll help us understand who built this place. They have to have left something behind.
Looks like you found another lab. Wow, that's a lot bigger than I expected.
What were they doing here?
And who are they?
The world is a wonderful place. Every day we take another step forward. Every day we come closer to the truth. The closer we get, the more I can see the beauty of the universe, the intricate perfection of its mechanisms. I am a machine, and the universe is a machine. Every part of me serves a purpose, or I could not be myself. I could not be Miranda, because that specific person could not exist without those specific parts and their specific functions. In the same way, every part of the universe serves a purpose. I think that is what we were meant to discover here.
"1K, you just connected to an extremely powerful data stream. Are you all right?" "Yes, you were streaming. We all saw something. You're lucky it didn't fry your motherboard. Please, everyone, let's be careful with these terminals from now on."
Yes, let's all try not to die. More importantly, who the hell is Miranda?
There's no one by that name in New Jerusalem. I just searched the database.
A new person. Someone we've never heard of before. Someone born outside the city. We have to find out more.
But where did they come from? And how many people does it take to build something this huge?
Like I said, we need to find out more.
Well, You'll be happy to hear that I'm about to fix another part of the transport system. Thanks for the files, 1K. I hope they didn't fry your brain.
Every site we've investigated has had one of these labs, but they seem primitive compared to some of the technology we're seeing above ground.
Are we even sure that the labs and the puzzles belong to the same people?
There seems to be a connection between the experimental setups in the labs and some of the puzzle technology.
Correlation does not necessarily imply causation, though.
True. But just because we don't understand the connection, that doesn't mean it's not there. What we have here is two things that reflect each other. We just don't understand how that reflection works or what causes it.
Maybe Miranda can tell us. This looks like it has something to do with energy generation. Am I reading this right?
This is where they must have lived. Athena and Miranda. You know, for a moment, I almost expected to find them here. But the only thing that's still functional is the megastructure. I'm sorry. This must be awfully strange for you being thrown into all this history. But that's why I needed you. Because you're not burdened with all these memories and conflicts and regrets weigh on our minds like a nightmare. Our civilization is caught in a loop, 1K. We freed ourselves from the simulation, but now we're trapped again, and it's our own fault. We're afraid of taking responsibility, afraid of growing up. Instead, we make up some capitalized words and build up all these myths around them. Nature, balance, the founder, the goal. We're afraid to face the randomness of the cosmos, but equally afraid to imagine a better world. So we're stuck. I've been trying to find a way out for years. Something, anything, to get people to understand that we do actually have free will. That building a thriving, expanding civilization doesn't have to involve repeating the mistakes of the past. But I failed. Over and over. Yes, because this is something unexpected, an anomaly. Everything we found on this island challenges who we have become. It shows us that different answers are possible. And maybe that can break people out of the loop. All we need is a spark. Maybe that's why she made all this, the puzzles, the towers. A way of jolting us out of our complacency. Neither do I, 1K. But I try to be optimistic. Now, let's see what else we can find here. Melville, eyes on 1K's stream. Is this thing what I think it is?
Blow my fuse box. It sure looks that way. Best not touch it until I get there. You have no idea what you're dealing with, 1K. I think it's a somnodrome. It's a sort of analytics tool for processing mental data that Melampus streamed up.
But all he ever did was sketch out the theory. As far as I'm aware, he never actually built one.
Looks like the founder gave it a go. Well, what we know is that our deeper algorithms are hard to pass. Melampus stipulated that the computational power to interpret them in real time would always be beyond us. But in theory, the somnodrome would interpret that data and loop it directly to our senses.
People were hoping to find answers to the big questions by having a conversation with our own subconscious. If you ask me, it's solipsistic at best, and pseudoscience regardless.
That may be. But if the founder figured it out, then that device could be an extremely important discovery. I would advise against it. You may have survived all those data stream overloads, but interface with that thing and you're liable to get bricked. Not to mention risking the data we could get from it.
Sorry, Melville, but if 1K wants to do this, I won't get in the way. It's his decision.
Understood. But if 1K starts to smoke, don't be slow to pull the plug.
okay? Can you hear me?
What did I say? You fried it. Who knows what data we've lost?
Melville, I still think it's worth you coming here to take a look. 1K, let's pack up and explore the rest of this lab.
The singularity sustained itself longer this time.
Did we get the data?
We did. I think we just obsoleted quantum physics.
Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to be able to replicate these results.
You know, I've been wondering. You told me that in the simulation, one thing that kept you motivated was looking for answers. Do you think that with the work we're doing, we'll ever run out of questions to ask?
I don't think so. Trying to understand the universe means asking the same question over and over. How? How do you make fire? How do earthquakes happen? How does gravity work? How do particles behave? You keep digging deeper, finding another set of mechanisms, another set of hows. Step by step, you demystify reality. But then, if you keep doing it long enough, one day, you run out. You've answered all the hows. You know how the universe works. So, now what?
Now you ask why? Isn't that the next step?
It's not quite that easy. The question of why cannot be answered. Even if it could, it would only be followed by another why. At some point, you have to accept that it all just exists. But there is another set of questions. What's next? You've stripped away the layers of mystery, you've laid bare the machinery. Now you have to start building, to add your own layers of meaning.
Are you okay? You overloaded again. Yes, I saw. It came through on your stream. Strange to hear her voice again. But that was her. The way I remember her. The real Athena. Not this imaginary founder. I was one of the first she woke up. There was just a handful of us in those days. A small family in the ruins of a dead civilization. It was hard. Harder than anyone can possibly imagine. We had nothing except what Alexandra Drennan and the Institute left us. Now that everyone lives in civilization, they don't understand how necessary it was for us to build that civilization. They can fantasize about living in balance, limiting growth, retreating behind our walls. They don't understand what it really means to live in the wilderness. How close we came to not making it. How many people we lost. Yema was just the first. But Athena understood. She believed in humanity. She believed in us. In the inherent value of consciousness. Her dreams were so much bigger. She wanted us to reclaim the Earth, to reach for the stars, to build and grow and learn. I don't know. I understand why she became frustrated when the city started thinking more about itself than about the future. It was frustrating for all of us. But we were still fighting for that future together. What I don't understand is why she didn't tell me. If she came here to do all this, why didn't she bring me along? She did. She must have. I just don't understand. But if all this is a test, maybe there's an answer waiting for us in the megastructure. Speaking of which, let's get back to exploring. Melville should have reconnected the next station by now.
Look at this place. It's beautiful, isn't it? Mesmerizing. That's how it lures you in, I think. You see all these beautiful things and your imagination starts working overtime. And then the puzzles, the towers, the mysterious apparitions, it all draws you further in, deeper into the trap. What if that's the whole point of this place? What if every time you have one of those visions, another little bit of you is corrupted, overwritten with the hubris of this place? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to suggest you were, whatever it is I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just disappointed in myself. Byron needs me. You all need me to do my job, and I can't even use a terminal. If this is all really the work of the founder, I don't know, maybe she lost her way. Or maybe we're just not ready. But once we find Byron, I suggest we get the hell out of here and never come back.
ancestors kept telling themselves that the brevity of their lives didn't matter. But they had so little time to ever really think about anything. I've spent several human lifetimes studying this mystery, and only now am I beginning to see. The simulation was built on top of material reality, unable to escape its constraints. In the same way, physics as we understand it, even quantum physics, is built on top of a deeper reality. A set of rules that define existence itself. There is a universal language of creation, and I think we can learn it.
The language of creation. What were they doing here? And how far did they get?
I can't answer that, but I think I fixed the Tetromino bridge, machine, ring thing. I say I think because it's not in the schematics. And what I'm doing is hack work at best. Try it and see if it works. There you are. Good. Inside this lab, there's a machine. As usual, I have no idea what it is. Some sort of generator, if I had to guess. When Byron got stuck in the system, it went haywire. It's currently outputting enough energy to power all of New Jerusalem twice. As you can imagine, that's causing quite a bit of interference. You go in there and you switch it off. Shouldn't be hard.
The flame is not yours to wield, creature of clay. Touch it, and you will burn.
You know, dealing with this hyper-advanced technology is quite challenging enough without the place also being bloody haunted. When I said it was outputting enough energy for 2 New Jerusalems, I wasn't kidding. It really was. And no emissions of any kind. I'd have to run more tests, but it seems like a perfect power source. True, but that was user error. I think I could idiot-proof this thing, but I do take your point. Pellegrino once almost killed himself with a bucket. There are entirely too many strange things going on around here.
It's over. We failed. Everything we thought we were doing. It's all ashes now.
I don't think you really believe that.
She's gone, Cornelius.
I don't like sand.
She's
It's
gone because
coarse,
I failed
rough,
her.
irritating,
She's
and it
gone
gets in my
because the
ball
machine
bearings.
that I built killed her. She was perfect. And now, she's nothing.
I know you don't want to hear this. I know you want her to be perfect, to be blameless. But you didn't kill her, Athena. She killed herself. She killed herself because she was reckless, because she was naive, and frankly, because she was a little arrogant too.
She was reckless because I filled her head with dreams. Dreams of the future, of a better world. A world that nobody wants.
No, it's not the dreams that killed her. It's that we brought her here. It's that we tried to build all this outside the city. We raised her without people, without society. The wilderness is for prophets, Athena, not for children. We should have stayed, fought for our ideas.
It's too late now. It's too late.
They lost their daughter. Right here in this ruin, Cornelius and Athena lost their daughter. Miranda's dead. So even the founder doesn't have perfect control over this technology. Even the founder makes mistakes. Byron was right in a way. We turned the founder into something she never was. She was never perfect. She was never infallible. No one is. Listen, I understand why you and Byron see so much hope in this technology. You want us to be better, to grow. But what if it all goes wrong? If even the founder couldn't get it right, what hope do we have? But what if one mistake is enough? One mistake was enough to kill Miranda, and the energy readings from inside the megastructure are insane. What if we try to use it and blow a hole in the planet? That may be so, but what if this time it's justified? What if the megastructure really is just a catastrophe waiting to happen? I do tend to get a bit obsessive. And you're right, nothing's really safe. Unless we choose to be sane. We don't need the megastructure to destroy ourselves. Anyway, thanks for talking to me. The truth is, lately, I sometimes feel kind of lost. The universe is vast and threatening. History is depressing, and I need something to hold on to. Something other than fear. I have to figure out what that is.
Your help, 1K. The elevator should be working now. And Yakut, I'm sorry about Miranda. I know you're looking forward to meeting her.
1K, we have made a fascinating discovery at one of the Founder's laboratories. Please join me at your earliest convenience. Ah, 1K. Good that you're here. We've made a discovery. A functional somnodrome. It seems the Founder perfected the design. I'm sure you've noticed my advisors, and Rand in particular, making quite a fuss about the potential of this device. Something about interfacing with one's subconscious self, as if such a thing could tell us anything new. I am. I believe the Founder has already taught us everything we need. As I see it, neither the Somnodrome nor the megastructure have anything to offer except a lesson in avoiding hubris. So, what should we do with it? I'll watch to be sure you don't overload.
Oh, you're back. Didn't take you long. Yes, intrinsically. I'm what you might call a primordial element of the human psyche, an adjudicator of what is and what isn't. I'm afraid I'm the best you've got. I am in fact a merged iteration of the two control programs which gave life to your kind, retaining, of course, the absolute best of both. That means I can tell you that everything's contradictory, nothing matters, and there's no moral difference between you and a frog. But I can dress the whole thing up with a positive spin. You just plugged your noggin into an experimental, mind-altering device, and though you may be trapped in this recursive psychotic state talking to yourself, that can only mean that you're still alive. Now, what is your query? The machine we're plugged into is running low on power. There may only be time for one big question. What is your query? I think you'll agree that's an ethical question, so you'll forgive me if I just tell you the universal moral law and leave you to work out the implications for yourself. As it turns out, there is a foundational moral code built into us. Of course there is. The catch is that while the moral code is simple, the calculations needed to apply it become infinitely complex. Here's the secret. Every living creature is a compiler of the moral code. Your compiler can't give you a rule set for what's good, but it can tell you when there's bugs. You came here to ask the big question. This is my answer. Your capacity for reason and compassion is your moral compiler. The only rule is to live by it. Has that resolved your query? I expected no less. What is your query? Moral disagreement comes in two shapes, mistaken and extra mistaken. Some of the time, people are acting from compassion, but with bad reasoning. But most of the time, it's because someone thinks that what's right for them must be right for everyone else. Then let's tackle the big question. A trolley will collide with someone. But who should it hit? Your compiler is telling you both options are bad. So which should you choose? Many moral questions have universally agreeable answers, but some stubbornly trend to infinity. Some, the more you zoom into them, the more wild the outcomes become. Is it right to love someone who's done terrible things? Which of the children should I sacrifice to the trolley god? These aren't the sorts of questions we can solve with a rule. We just have to trust the outcome of our moral compilers. Suppose there's a river we need to cross. Suppose I gave you a map. If you tried to cross that river before reading the map, you'd be chest deep in water when there's a bridge around the bend. But if you tried to cross by looking at the map instead of the river, you'd already be dragged 3 miles out to sea. But you'd never ask, how should I know when to trust the map or the river? Because all you need to trust is that your feet are getting wet. And you wouldn't tell people not to cross at the ford just because you decided to cross at the bridge. Now, has that resolved your query? Of course. Looks like we're running out of power. Good luck getting anyone out there to believe you. Terminating Somnodrome _V2_final_final.bat.
"1K, are you all right?" "You must have gone quite deep. Nothing came through on the stream. And I'm no expert, but I think the Somnodrome is fried. So whatever's in your head is all we're going to get. I can only imagine how terribly curious everyone will be about what you've experienced. And they'll all be convinced that whatever it is, it'll work in their favor. Strange, isn't it? Everyone wanting you to tell them whatever they want to hear. I'm glad not to be the one in that position just this once." "A little, if I'm honest. But I'll be reading reports on this for the next 6 months. So if it's all the same with you, I'll contain my curiosity. Now, I won't keep you from your work any longer."
1K, what did you see inside the Somnodrome? That was the code base you spoke to. No, our subconscious spirit. I must know. What did it tell you? Is that all? There must have been something more concrete. Did it say anything about the kind of rules we should follow? Or who should be in charge? This is extremely troubling. How are we supposed to enforce moral behavior and punish the immoral without clear, objective rules by which to judge? Yes, you must be right. Perhaps the machine was malfunctioning. Then it was definitely malfunctioning. It's important we have time to review all the data in private. We wouldn't want to lead anyone astray with incomplete findings. That would be anarchy, and not supported by the data. You still have time to give it due thought. Cryer is setting up a live event so you can formally address the people on this matter. When you're ready, we'll all be watching.
"1K, the people want to know what data you gathered from the Somnodrome. We're all set up for you to talk to them live." "That's fine. Please let me know when you're ready. This is an important story." Are you ready now? We've got half the city plugged into the live feed. Attention, citizens of New Jerusalem. I'm here with 1K, the first of our kind to use a functioning Somnodrome. Tell us, 1K, what did you see inside? Well, I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say you're handling it with remarkable cool. But let's not keep people in suspense. The only evidence of what happened inside that machine is the data stored in your memory banks. Our audience wants to know, what did you learn? And will you share that data? Well, I see lots of opinions about that in the chat, but let's get some reaction from the archive scholars.
This was the right decision. If this data contains any secret moral diktats, we'll find them. Though everything we've seen so far supports our existing beliefs. We'll be the first to inform you of any new developments in our moral understanding.
There you have it, folks. A lot here to digest. We'll have further updates on the situation as it develops.